Hey guys, Dr. Tom here with the Doctors of Physical Therapy. This is the video that teaches runners how to detect a lot of their own impairments that can lead to injury, and then we're going to show you how to take steps to avoid getting injured so that you can run harder, farther, longer while avoiding injury. So the first thing that we're going to go over is how to detect your own impairments. The first thing you're going to need is a seat where your thighs are level, and what you're going to do is a single leg squat. So first you're going to initiate this by putting your hands forward, leaning forward, and standing up, okay? And then you're going to see if you can control the eccentric portion by going all the way back down. Now the things that you're looking for are, do you need to lean to one side? Are you pushing with your heel that's down to try to get up? Are you leaning to the other side? Is your knee diving in? Okay, a lot of these things are indicators that it could be hip weakness. The second thing that we're going to teach you to detect is a decrease in dorsiflexion. Dorsiflexion is the ability for your foot to progress towards your tibia here, and you need that to progress through your entire running gait. So the way that we showed you in the workshop is you're going to start with a ruler on the ground, put your toes, you're going to do this without shoes, you're going to put your toes at the 1 inch mark, see if you can touch the wall. Okay, great, 2 inch, all the way up to 5 inches. You should be able to touch your knee to the wall at 5 inches without your heel coming up. As soon as your heel starts to come up, that's how far you can go. So if you're at 2 inches or 3 inches, you want to work some of the exercises that we're going to show you until you get to that 5 inch mark. The third thing that we're going to teach you to test is hip flexor tightness. So what you can do is two ways. We're checking the length of the rectus femoris. So stabilize yourself on some surface like this table, reach your ankle, bring it back towards your butt, and then proceed to extend your knee backwards. Now a lot of people will have their knee come outwards like this. You can't do that. You got to have it in and see if your leg actually gets to parallel. Another way you can do this is by lying face down and doing the same thing. You also want to make sure that you don't arch your back, okay? You have to keep your pelvis in nice and tight to make sure that you are testing the true length of the hip flexor. That sums it up for identifying your impairments. Now we're going to show you some ways to address each of those. Okay, so let's say the first thing you noticed was that you can't really get your knee to the wall when you have your toes at the 5 inch mark. First, I'm going to show you how to foam roll your calf, then we're going to show you how to stretch the two different muscle bellies and the joint capsule, and then we're going to show you how to actually mobilize the joint capsule with the band. So the first way you're going to address the muscle is with a foam roller, and you're going to make sure that when you work on your calf, you not only go up the back, but you go down each side to make sure you're getting every bit of the muscle available. Then, after you foam roll, you'll come over and you'll do a calf stretch. You can do this several different ways. You can do it on the stairs, you can do it with a wedge, or you can do it on the ground like this. You want to make sure that you do it two ways. One, you're forcing this knee that's down straight, so that way you're getting the gastrocnemius muscle. That's the outermost muscle that you see on most people. The second way is you're going to bend your knee and you're still going to push your weight into your heel, and you're going to notice that the stretch changes to more down here versus when your knee's extended, it's higher. Okay, you're going to hold each of those for 30 seconds and do 3 sets of those. Then to mobilize the joint, if it's a joint issue, you're going to have your foot on a surface that's about, this is a little high, it's normally about 12 inches if you're really trying to mobilize the joint. You put the band just below the ankle bones here, and then you attach it to a firm surface behind you. Okay, and you're not on a stool, you're not on anything that's mobile, but you are progressing your weight over your ankle. Well, that band pulls not straight back, but kind of back and at an angle towards your other leg. Okay, so it's really pulling this way. Cool, and you're going to do that for about 30 seconds before you do your exercises. All right, guys, so say you realize that you couldn't really pull your heel to your butt and keep your knee close to the other knee at the same time. This is a good way to start stretching that hip flexor. So you're going to have one of these super bands attached to the back of your hip. If you don't have a super band, don't worry, I'm going to show you another way to stretch the hip flexor in just a second. The band's attached to a firm surface pulling forward. You're making sure to keep your abdominals tight, and you let the band just kind of pull your hip forward. To intensify this stretch, you can either pick up that back knee, that's a lot, or you can just set that leg on a slightly higher surface the next time you do it. Okay, let's get rid of the band. And the way to do this without, you can either do it in the exact same position here without the band, or you can do more of a runner's lunge where you come forward, put your hands on your knees, and you also get a good hamstring stretch if you go back this way, and then alternate that with the hip flexor stretch coming up through here. Again, making sure to keep your core tight, don't arch your back, okay, because that just loses the stretch. All right, so lastly, let's say that you noticed that when you did that single leg squat, you really couldn't control what your hips, your knees, or your ankle were doing. Well, this series of exercises will show you how to start working on the glute strength, the hip strength, to actually stabilize all that. So the first one is a squat with a band around the knees. When you do this, you're making sure that your knees stay over about your second toe. They can progress slightly ahead of your toes, but you want most of the weight evenly distributed throughout your feet so that you can raise your toes up, okay? You can do either holds or you can do this for reps, okay? The second one is actually going to be the test itself. So we're gonna do single leg squat, but you can do it with the surface so that you can work on wherever is appropriate for you. If you can't get all the way down to that chair, you can kind of find what is appropriate where you can control that knee and work that single leg squat there. Okay? And then thirdly, you can work the hip abductors. So you're gonna start in a side plank here. If this is too hard, you can come to your knees and you're gonna couple it with an abduction of the other hip. So you don't wanna rotate your hips backwards for this one. You wanna lift straight up and you wanna lift your leg straight to the side there and come back down. Okay guys, so that pretty much sums it up for how to detect injuries before they happen, identifying your own impairments and making sure that you know how to address them so that you can actually increase the distance you're running, increase the speed and the difficulty of your runs, all while making sure you stay injury-free. If you want to reach out, if you have any questions, our phone number is 480-482-0651, or if you prefer email, it's info@thedoctorsofpt.com. Until next time, make sure you live life today.